call this meeting to order and welcome everyone. If you would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. We're going to start off with the approval of July 2nd regular meeting. Has everyone had the opportunity to read over that? Okay. Would someone like to make a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion approve. I'll second it.
Okay, and then all in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
I'll pass it around this time.
I'm so sorry. Mike is supposed to be on Zoom.
Okay.
I forgot.
All right. Hi, Mike. Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Is there any mail that we need to be discussing? Okay. And then the county attorney is not present. Okay, we're going to move on to committee reports, and we will talk about the salary and wage committee.
Budget committee?
Budget committee,
There
I
you go.
apologize, yes.
That's all right.
Budget.
Budget committee met on July the 9th, and our goal was to identify a number of issues that we felt were important. The council will probably have to take some extra time on in the budget season, and hopefully develop recommendations about how to handle those moving forward. And so this isn't an all-encompassing list, but it's what we came up with, and 4 of them are directly related to the budget, and 2 of them are more related to how we handle our business afterwards to try to help control costs. And so in no particular order, these are 911, it's fiscal issues and organization, developing a policy on additional appropriations, trying to tackle the ever-rising costs of our EMS, labor guidelines, the changes that the Department of Labor made regarding exempt, non-exempt employees, developing a policy on last-minute agenda additions, and the distribution of the new public safety tax. All that was pretty easy, but that's where we got a little bogged down, and unfortunately we were not able to reach any kind of consensus on any of these issues. So moving forward, I'm not sure that we'll be able to reach the timeline that the auditor would like to have everything done by September 17th, but I believe legally we have to have things done by November 1st at the latest, and that no, it's not.
September 17th.
September 17th
I
is
mean,
it.
whatever date we advertise is your date, yeah. So if you wanted a later date, you've got to re-advertise and start the clock over again.
Well, we may have to, I don't know how long it'll take, but we may be, if it's September 17th, we're going to have to spend some long nights here.
Scott, was there any of those that you mentioned that you were able to come together with any
No.
agreements on? All of them?
All of them.
Okay.
But,
I can
you know,
understand. I can understand.
hopefully we'll be able to work it out when all 7 of us are here. So, that's it.
Thank you. Are there any other committee reports to be reported on this evening? Okay, commissioners. Dale, are you speaking for the commissioners this evening?
I can, unless, Dale, would you like to? We I won't go into every detail. We had a couple hours today of pretty much routine business for commissioners. We approved several 144 requests from 3 different departments. Approved a couple of contractual things for the auditor's office, and bought a couple of copiers, one for the auditor's office, one for the surveyor's office, and approved some furniture requests for the recorder's office. But there's one thing that I would like to kind of bring you all up to date on. We've talked about it in the past, and there's been some things happening. Commissioner Munson and I met this morning with our contractors and engineering company, DLZ, in relation to our jail annex women's work release facility. And their current completion date right now is August 30, and they told us this morning that they are holding to that date. We don't know if they will actually do that or not. We've given them, what, Dale, 5 different extensions so far. So Dale's been putting a little pressure on them to hurry up and get it done. So they're telling us today that we're staying with the August 30 completion date. So assuming that is true and it works out that way, we won't be able to open it up on August the 30th. We still have some work to do with the control system, which is with a separate company, where the jailers will be able to control the doors and such from either location, either from inside the jail or at that facility. And there's always the issue of staffing, and I haven't had a chance to talk to the sheriff today about whether or not we will be up to speed on staffing soon or not. He can speak to that if he wishes to. But things are progressing. A lot of the last pieces of this project are finally coming together, and it's been very, very busy over there in recent days. So, knock on wood, we're getting there, and we're almost a year behind on this. So, with all the stresses and strains of that the supply chain has been through in recent months, I understand a lot of it, but it's just something that it's not unique to us. It's been happening to everyone. So we're getting real close on that project, and as soon as, well, anytime any of you want to, we'll go over and take a look at it if you want to. We're hoping to have be able to throw the doors open for public inspection before too long. So that's a good thing. The other thing I'd like to bring you up to date on, it's been a while since we've talked about the project out at Man Love Lake. But I want you to know that on July the 15th, we started drawing water out of that lake by running 4 different siphons, plus the original drain that was put in the lake when it was built in 1939. As of today, we have probably only less than 20% of the water surface still in that lake. Perhaps by week's end, it'll be completely dry. So the lake itself is going to have to sit for this time next year before we can actually move any material, because it's going to take a considerable amount of drying time But this thing, it seems slow, but it is progressing. We've been averaging, I take a water measurement every day, have done so for the last 25 days. We've been averaging bringing the water down to 2 inches per day. And in a surface area of 20 acres of water, that's an awful lot of water. So between the rains and what is coming in through field tile and such, we've been taking it out faster than it's coming in. So we are moving along on that. And going forward, there's going to be a lot to this. So, and as you know, we did receive an award for Lake and River Enhancement grant from the DNR. Unfortunately, those grants are limited to no more than $100,000 a year. So when the DNR made that award, they knew they were signing on to a long-term project. It's going to be a multi-year project. So don't be surprised if sometime in the future, next year, not this year for certain, but don't be surprised if next year we don't come and ask for a little bit of help from you on that respect by from some fund that we may be able to use to supplement the grant. I'm happy to get started on that, because that lake now is 85 years old, and now that the water is out of it, it's plain to see just how much in need it really is.
You're going to have to restock that, aren't you, Dale?
Yes, yeah, that'll be part of the project. That'll be one of the last things
Who's
to
going to
do.
pick up all the dead fish?
The hawks, and there's an eagle or two that drops in.
I wouldn't have that job for anything.
But believe it or not, there's not going to be nearly as many dead fish as a lot of people thought, because 2 or 3 years ago that lake went through a turnover, and practically all the fish population died
Oh, did they?
back then. So there's an awful lot of small bluegill in there right now, but nothing record-breaking for sure. So if you get a chance, if you're curious about it, go up and take a look at it, because we get people comes in every day just to look and see how it's progressing. People trying to get the last chance of fishing out of there while they can. And I need to give some people a real shout out here, because the members of the Conservation Club up there are tremendously committed to this project, and they have bent over backward to help me in every way they can. And I'm going to be giving all this information to the newspaper soon. I hope they can make a good story out of it, but those folks up there are really, really excited to see something start happening there to rejuvenate and rebuild this lake. So it being the only publicly owned lake the county owns in the county, and the largest lake in the county, it means a lot to a lot of people. So I just wanted to let you know that we've got almost all the water out, and from there it'll be kind of a sit and wait, see how long it takes for the mud to dry. Then we can start actually moving some material. Okay? I think that's all I need to talk about. Mr. Dale, you got anything?
I have
Okay.
a question. Can you guys impose a chargeback fee to the company for not meeting their deadline?
Could you say that again, Kay?
The company that's working on the women's release, can you impose a chargeback fee?
We haven't thus far.
It has to be done in the beginning.
I think that's going to be a point of discussion before we're done. We are going to incur some additional charges from DLZ, the engineering company, because of this delay. And I think that's probably going to wind up DLZ eating a little bit of it, and we'll eat a little bit of it, and I think we'll see the contractor eat some of it. But that is not a settled issue right now. So, you know, since that discussion is still open, so I got to be kind of careful what I say in a public meeting about it. Okay, well, good seeing you all.
All right,
Thank
thank
you,
you,
Dale.
Dale.
Thanks.
Okay, we're going to move on to transfers, additionals, and reductions. Additional appropriation to County General Fund 1000 probation, account number 30062, contracted detention cost in the amount of $20,000. Hello.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm Assistant Chief of Probation. I'm here in Ryan's place. So as you can see, we are asking for an additional $20,000 into our juvenile detention fund. Unfortunately, on Sunday, I believe, we had to detain 2 more juveniles. So money is going quicker than we had expected.
Are the numbers up, Lisa?
The number's up. I wouldn't say they're up, but I think right now we have 4 in detention. It's just the process of getting them into court, getting a disposition or decisions made as far as what we're going to do with them.
Yes.
And I will say the charges are all violent, serious charges. It's not charges that we feel like they should be out in the community.
Where are they detaining them at?
Muncie,
Muncie?
yes.
Okay.
Can you assign any fees to the family?
No, that would be something I believe the judge would have to order. And to be honest with you, even if that happened, most of the families would not have those funds to cover that.
Are there any more questions for Lisa?
I'll make a motion to approve the 20,000.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
That's one of the things you discussed, right?
On the additional, we have another additional appropriation to County General Fund 1000 Superior Court, account 30824 for transcripts of $3,000. Judge Paul Freed, thank you.
Hello. It says transcripts, but that's just one of the issues. It's also interpreters. It's just we had a rash of defendants who are deaf and Spanish speaking. Then we've had transcripts on appeals and trial transcripts as well. We have, that's the need for this transfer, but just FYI, there's a attempted murder trial going on right now, has been this week. Will continue to go on most of the rest of the week in my court. And Judge Branstetter has a murder trial next week. So you have jury expenses as well coming up. Everyone cheered when the state legislature increased the jury day fees because they hadn't been changed in decades, but so the bills for jury fees are going to be double what you used to see because the rates doubled.
What is it per day now?
If you're called but not selected. You're called to jury duty, you come in, but you don't ultimately get selected for the jury. You get $30 for every day that you're in the process of being selected or not. If you're actually selected and serve, it goes to $80 per day that you actually serve on the jury, unless the trial goes longer than 5 days, at which time on the 6th day, I believe, it goes to $90 a day. So I would assume we'll have need of some more money later, but that has nothing to do with this request today. This is just something I was trying to give you a heads up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know how much can you tell me how much we've spent in this line item this year?
I don't know that off the top of my head.
Okay. The auditor might be able to tell me.
It'll take me a minute.
Okay.
It's erratic.
Yeah, I understand. I'm
Yeah.
just curious.
Yeah. I would think by this time of the year, it would be a little higher than usual because, as I said, we've had an unusual, they come in spurts.
Sure.
You may go a long time and not need any interpreters, and then suddenly you use one every week
More activity in
for
the summer,
for
right?
6 straight weeks on different cases. You just never know.
All these are Fayette County, or is it being transferred here, Paul?
No, these are all Fayette County.
All Fayette
All
County.
Fayette County cases, yes, sir.
Transcripts, Scott, they spent $961.75 so far this year.
How much?
$961. And then in interpreter fees, they've spent $3,888.
Yeah, that one's, I think, a little high at this point, halfway point in the year. A little beyond halfway, I guess. Hopefully.
And that probably is that interpreters for like Spanish speaking community? Yeah,
Yeah, and American Sign Language is a big one as well.
yeah,
Really?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it is. There's certain defendants in the community that are deaf that are repeat customers.
Okay, someone have any more questions, or do you want to make a motion to
I'll make a
approve?
motion.
Okay,
for
second.
$3,000 additional.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
I would like to report, if I might have just a moment, out of point of order here. I have, my part-time employee has quit. I don't know if you knew that or not. I've been advertising for some weeks now for a replacement. She gave me a lot of advance notice. And out of kindness, she agreed not to leave until I had this attempted murder trial completed, because those are sort of an all-hands-on-deck type situation, obviously. But she's leaving in 2 weeks. But I've already been advertising for that. Thus far, I had one person apply who was not 18, so that's an automatic disqualifier. You have to be 18 because you have to swear oaths to participate in certain functions of the job. You can't do that unless you're an adult. Another person applied and then immediately called back in, maybe about 48 hours later, and said, withdraw my application. I already found a job that paid a lot better. And that's it. So that's the 2 people, apparently, in the county that want to work for $12.40 an hour with no benefits. And one of them I can't have, and the other one no longer wants to talk to me. So it's a problem. It's been suggested by staff that if the position was converted to a full-time position with benefits, possibly you might appeal to some special person who really needed the benefits. I didn't put that in my budget when I submitted my budget, but I'm pretty desperate. I've listed it with IU East Career Services Department. The girl who just quit was great. She didn't stay very long, as many of them don't. But she came to me as a college student, told me when she took the job that, you know, obviously she wasn't going to work for that kind of money after she finished her bachelor's degree, but it might be okay since we were flexible with hours and it was part-time and she could still go to school full-time. but she was gonna quit when she graduated. So I thought, well, if she thought that, maybe someone else would think that as well. So I feel right now my best bet, I'm trying to get one of these kids interested, but they don't think much about school or jobs until school starts, which is in a couple weeks. I'm hoping maybe I can get somebody like that. Again, that worked out well. You get a person that's highly literate, highly educated, smart. They don't stay very long, but no one else does either. So I might as well get someone that's smart, literate, and educated for a short period of time, as opposed to the contrary. So that's my strategy right now for recruiting. But I'm just about out of answers on this. I rang the bell and no one came.
When you say part-time, how,
28.
28 hours?
So I would like to have that considered at least. Do I need you got a special form for that? Ask to modify my budget request?
You can't.
I can?
At this point, no, it's
Okay.
already been advertised.
Okay, well, I figure I'd get it anyway, but thought. So that's where we're at on that. I don't know what to do. I'm still working on it. I made calls during potty breaks for the jury today during a murder trial, trying to recruit an employee. I'm getting nowhere. So I just don't think anybody works for that kind of money anymore.
What about someone older, maybe? That has nothing to do.
It's no retirement job. There's some vile human beings up there that you have to deal with, and a lot of them. And it's confrontational and intermittently fast moving. And I'm not in any way prejudiced against an older person. I'm an older person myself. I'm no kid anymore. But I would hesitate to take someone in thinking that was just answer the phone, write little post-it notes to me as I walk in, hey Judge so-and-so called, and then spend the rest of your time filing your nails and just answering the phone over there, because I assure you, it is not that. It is not that at all. And there's a lot of software to learn. It's a catch-22. It's like circular logic. We pay so little, and it's part-time, so people assume it doesn't entail much. But that's just not true. It just isn't. People say, well, surely it doesn't entail much. They're only paying $12.40 an hour. How much can they expect? A lot more than they think. That's how much I expect. A lot more. A lot more than I expect $20 an hour worth, but I only pay $12.40. So it's a tough sell. It's a tough sell. Anyway, you've got a lot of things to do. I'll leave you alone, but it's a big problem. I don't know what I'm going to do. That is all.
Thank you. Okay, we're moving on to additional appropriation to County General Fund 1000 Recorder, account 30120, travel and training.
Hello.
Hi, Lisa.
I am here asking for probably the smallest on the additional request for $584. I'm asking for travel and training. I'd actually written it into my budget, but I wasn't giving anything in that area. I am asking to go to AIC. They have a couple subjects. It's actually like a week conference, but I have been in contact with Jackie Clements. She is the president with AIC, and asked her what days are going to benefit me the most as the recorder. So she has given me the days that are going to benefit me the most personally. They are going to be having a workshop for challenges of public record, legal descriptions, public record redactions, and property fraud. Property fraud is something that we're really pushing right now. We actually had a booth at the fair last week, signed 19 families up for it at the fair, and my numbers are progressing every month. It is something that I'm very active with in getting the office. So asking just to be able to go to that, and we're going to have one on cybersecurity and artificial intelligence. Of course, we know that's a big thing right now. And in my office, notaries are very, very important because I can't record a document if it's not notarized. So just asking to go and get that extra training.
Lisa, you said your 2 days, is that the 24th and 25th or the 25th and 26th?
Give me just a second. Let me pull her email up here. Tuesday and Wednesday. So that would be,
The 24th and 25th?
yeah.
Okay. We did something similar with the treasurer, so I don't know that there's a problem doing it. But I didn't see any numbers on what you presented for it. Is that the $41 a day per diem, 49.5 cents for a mile,
So
or to go down there and back, right?
Yeah, so it'll be the conference cost,
Yeah.
the room, and my mileage. There's no meals because I've already double
Right.
checked, and meals are all covered there. So,
So it's like 2 nights,
it'll be
or just
one night because then I'll come home the next. You see what I'm
So it's
saying?
only one night?
I would go
Okay.
the 24th, stay that night, and come home
Okay.
on the 25th.
How much is the conference cost?
$260,
Okay, okay.
and the room is $119, and then mileage 49 cents a mile. So
You ever been down there?
I have not.
It's a nice hotel attached to the casino down there. It's nice.
Where's that?
VV,
Yeah.
or
Okay.
around VV,
Yeah.
Switzerland County.
Okay,
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Thank you.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so moved.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lisa. Okay, additional appropriation to statewide 911 Fund 1222, account 40400 for equipment, $7,145.
Hi, guys.
Hey,
Hey,
So, when this all started with this equipment piece, my intentions were to come and get half of this, which I did, and then go to the city to get the other half. Well, I did not go to the city because I had a talk with Chad Frank, the mayor, and he is declining to pay the half due to the fact that the county paid the entirety of the new radio system. And this item will be on that radio system, and so he felt that it is the county's radio system and responsibility. So he did not budget money to give me for this, and he declined to pay his half, that half. So I'm here to get the other half.
Doesn't it say in the contract they're supposed to pay half on the, you just reviewed?
let's see.
Has it already been ordered?
Yes, they actually got one, and the one they got, they didn't bring it to us, but the company sent them one, and it was defective, so they've sent that back to get a new one.
I think I remember seeing it said it in the contract, they're supposed to pay half on it.
Let me-
So what gives the city the right to say what they're gonna pay, what they're not gonna pay? When we've got an interlocal agreement with them. I'm kind of sick and tired of the attitude over there. We'll pay half, we'll pay what we wanna pay, when we wanna pay it. We don't
Right?
have that luxury.
Yeah. Well, I didn't go to the formal council to ask this. Chad Frank was actually in my office.
Why we
And
go to the formal council and ask, because Chad can't make that decision on his own.
And that's true. I mean, the city council needs to be the ones to give the final decision on
I
their
did
part.
speak to Rosemary, and she also declined, saying that they didn't have the funding for it.
So suppose we don't.
Yeah, well,
We don't consider it.
I understand that.
It's got to be,
It's-
it's got to be.
I know. I mean, this isn't coming out of county general, it's coming out of state 911 funds. So it is the same. I'm not that I'm rich in that fund, because I'm not. But yeah, I agree with the city. That's my intentions, to have the city pay that half, and
It's the principle.
it's the principle of the situation. I agree. But I've done all this time, and they're not gonna do it. They're refusing to do it.
And they refuse to put you on the city council
They didn't refuse to do that. I have not. They just said that that would be a declined payment. They would not pay the half.
Well, let's have the city
The
council
con-
decline it.
The contract does not say that they have to pay half of it. It says that we are responsible for all expenses and that they will pay us the $132,000 that they've agreed to, and they have paid that.
The city has?
I know I read somewhere about a half on the equipment somewhere.
It's not on equipment, it's maintenance costs. It's agreed that any future replacement of the generator and all maintenance costs shall be shared on a 50-50 basis. So the only thing that it says is 50-50 in here is the maintenance on the generator.
And what piece is this?
This is the combiner that I'm still trying to get paid. I've already submitted my half that I got from the council last time. I've already submitted that. They're fine. They were going to install the combiner on half. So that's not the issue, but I need to get the other half paid. And this is my recourse that I've taken because
I mean, I would still take it to the city council anyway. And even if they turn it down, then we'll know where we stand with the city, because they're coming to us asking for help on other things too. So,
okay.
So
I mean,
what
that's
is your
just my
time
opinion.
frame?
I don't know about
Half
you
an
What
guys.
kind
Well-
of delay is that gonna cause?
It's a delay, but like I said, my vendor, they're fine putting it in without the full amount. Because I'd already told them, they know how this all works. You know, I just,
It doesn't work.
the guy that we have, he's really good, and I just told him, you know, the dynamics that we go through to do our diligence to get our money. He's fine with that. So on the half mark that I sent, he was more than willing to go ahead and install it. He just hasn't got it back yet to program it. Well, so I'd already went ahead and done I turned it in for here because of what I was getting told there. But I can sure go to the city
I
council.
mean, I understand that the city council's gonna do what the mayor tells them to do, because that's how they operate over there. You know, so, I don't know, is it worth it?
It's
I
not
think
coming
let's
from
send it
county
over
general,
anyway.
it's coming out of her funds.
So the result is to go to city council, correct?
Well, I don't know.
Just, okay.
What do you,
If it's not gonna delay the installation of the piece of equipment, I would say go to the city.
Well, my only argument with that is, I mean, the mayor's told her no, and I know he does preside over city council, and because Rosemary is she's on city council.
She's treasurer, yeah.
She's treasurer, and they're saying they don't have the funds. I mean, you can prolong it, but if they're not going to pay it, I mean, and it's going to come back to us anyway. I mean, are you going to prolong it for another 30 days?
It's not coming out of our
When
funds.
it's not coming out of general.
Rosemary is not voting on this, and neither is the mayor.
Right.
The city council
Yes.
members who are elected are voting on it. They should be presented with us to make that decision and the case made to them.
We have a
For
contract.
for the mayor and for Rosemary to say that they're not gonna pay it without presenting to the city council is not the way that that's supposed to be working.
Well, the contract states that we pay for everything except maintenance and any upkeep, so.
and we can't justify this particular piece as maintenance.
No,
No.
it's an actual
All
piece
right.
that goes
So-
on the radio system.
I mean, it's equipment. I mean,
Well-
you can go back and argue with them and, whatever, but it's
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah, I
the
guess
contract
that's-
says,
Yep.
I make a
So how
motion.
do you tell the assumption that the city will pay half? Where did that originate?
Well, I mean, there've been a number of us, I mean, I know you probably don't have it there where you are, Mike, but, I'm sitting here looking at the interlocal agreement too, and that's right. I mean, other than the maintenance, and we can't justify this particular part as maintenance. So,
We could.
No, you can't. It's new equipment.
Yeah.
no, not equipment, that's not maintenance.
I make a motion, we do it.
So I will tell you, the date of this original quote is February 21st. I mean, I've been doing this now for
yeah, I got you.
a few months.
I'll second Tim's motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Thanks, guys.
Just remember, you gotta take it to council next time.
Oh, I don't have a problem with
remember
it, it's
what?
just that I've been put down to where we're not doing it. I mean, it's been pretty stern, not
We
me.
didn't ask for opposing, we didn't ask for those opposed, I'm opposed.
Okay.
Okay.
When you start asking for opposing votes, I'm not assuming it's always approved.
Are there any opposed to what we just
Me.
voted on? Okay, Mike Winter opposes. Does everyone else, do we need to do a roll call? Okay,
I said yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Mike? I mean Jim, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes. Scott?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Yes. So moved.
Anything else that you want to talk to me about? Well, I'm sure there is, but anyway.
Thank you, Kelly.
Okay, thanks, guys. Have a nice evening.
You too. The next additional appropriation to the Lit Correctional and Rehabilitation Facilities Fund 1233, account 30071, medical services in the amount of $20,000. That would be Sheriff Zach Jones.
$20,000 to cover inmate medical. I thought it was coming out of misdemeanor, but apparently Beth put lit. Is that right?
1233.
Okay. But we just need, when you have 130 inmates, there's one inmate that gets a shot that costs, I think they told me $9,000. They come to jail and they're taking this medication, we have to continue it. What do? You have to do it, or you're going to face a lawsuit and somebody may get sick and die. So we pay for it, our medical company. They tell us this is the route that we need to take. So my secretary has come up with $20,000. She thinks that will get us through for a while. I think the inmate in question is about to be sentenced, and it'll be a DOC inmate. So then we don't have to worry about that no more. But who's to say another one's not going to come in that we have to pay for? Inmate medical, just like everybody else, is always going up. So $20,000 should get us through for a while. Hopefully it gets us through the year, but I can't promise nothing.
So is this 20,000 several or just one person? Just curious.
For all the inmates, 20,000.
Make a motion to approve the 20,000.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Do it, Mike. Anything else? And as far as what Dell was talking about, employees, we're still trying to hire. Just the other day, we were 3 that we needed. I just got told today that a female put her 2 weeks notice in because she went somewhere else that's paying better. So we're down 4. We need to hire 4 still out of the 10. So we're getting there. Hopefully by August of next year, when that place opens, we'll have them all hired. But we had some interviews today. I think we are looking at hiring maybe 2 if they pass background checks, and we're getting closer. So when it opens, whenever Dell says he cuts the ribbon and we walk in, we'll start it. If we have to have overtime shifts, whatever, but we'll get it going. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we don't have any 144s. Old business. Reminder of budget hearings on the 13th and 14th next week, starting at 9 a.m. That'll be next Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll be meeting here. Are those going to be televised?
Yes, yes.
Yes, they will be televised. Okay, and new business, we have John Pawsley with us from Channel TV3.
Yeah, I figured we'd go ahead and get started with complying with the state on doing the budget meetings. So
Okay,
we're gonna give that a try. We've never done that before because it's very
arduous, I know. You guys work hard on that. So it'll be fun for us too. I've got copies. I actually wanted to come and talk on April 16th. We had the joint meeting to discuss our budget and, of course, the compliance with the new state law on live streaming. So I thought I'd come in and talk to you about the budget, as well as answer any questions you have as we're getting closer to that. And we also have training coming up for the various boards this Friday at 4:30 at City Hall in the council chambers. So, and if you want to come, you're welcome to come too. I'm going to go through exactly, what the law says again and explain that to all the boards so that they know how to comply and how we can get it up and running.
You said Friday at 4:30?
Yes, Friday, 4:30 p.m. at City Hall in the council chambers. And we've got quite a bit of the website built out already. For compliance, we have to post everything online and then link it to the video. So I've pretty much built all of the HTML code for that, and it seems to be functioning pretty well. You can check that out on the website. On the drop-down menu, it's all the way on the right-hand side where it says agendas and minutes. Additionally, I created a new page that we never have had before for the townships. So people can actually go on the website now and see the township information, contact their township trustee a little easier. It's got their email address as well as their telephone numbers on it. What I wanted to bring up on the budget, of course, we talked a little bit about this on that joint meeting, but that we're continuing to see a shortfall in funding, which we are solely funded by the cable franchise fees. As more people switch off from using cable, and the state has not seen it, or the federal government has not seen any motion so far to try and move funding, that type of funding source through the use of right-of-ways by ISPs. Although I know there's a lot of talk about that. The state of Maine just passed a law that allowed for that because it makes no sense to me for municipalities, county governments to have rights-of-way where people are making money, but they're not paying the communities for the use of that right-of-way because it's not a utility. So, but I think we'll get there eventually. It's just very slow-moving. You know how it can be with the federal government. So, what I wanted to show you on that, and I gave you the budget handout, and you can see where we're at in the budgeting. Most of everything on our budget is just personnel. We've trimmed our budget down as much as possible. I'd like to trim it more, and you can see on there some things we do not use. It's in there because they felt like we needed it. I try not to use it. Part of that is like the part-time budget. We've got $8,200 budgeted in there. We can't really spend that because we're going to see a shortfall this year of quite a bit, probably $40,000 to $60,000. And I can go over that here in a minute. We don't really use a lot of the other, we try to reduce wherever we can, whether it's electricity and water. Now, electricity is difficult because we're in the Fifth Third Bank building, and those HVAC systems are not very efficient, and we have to pay 20% of that bill. So when we've got RDI using that downstairs, although they're not there right now, they're still running the HVAC system, we still have to pay for that. So I did some calculations, and of course I try to do projections on just based on current trends of what we're seeing on income, and try to estimate what the drop-off ratio is. And what we're seeing this year for our budget at $213,000, again, we're not spending all of that, but that's what the budget's set at. We're probably only going to see an income this year of $140,000. So obviously we're well underneath where we should be on that. And we've seen that kind of decline for several years, so we've known it's been coming, so we've been cutting back as much as possible. And we've already had, we already have a fairly small budget in my opinion, so it's just trying to be very conservative with that. Next year, my projection is that we'll come in somewhere around 120 to 130,000 as we continue to see that drop off. So I guess I say all that to say this: we need some funding. The meetings that we're looking at having to do for the county, we did a calculation on that. It's 151 meetings annually. Currently, we do 60, so we're seeing a huge increase just on the county side. Same thing goes with the city. We're seeing a big increase there, so they're working on that for us as well. And we're going to see an increase of 48 there. So we're going to see a huge need. In order to do all of these meetings, we have to have 2 of us. There's no way that there can be just one person to handle all of this. So that's where I come to you to ask for your help. And I realize we're going to have to work that out, negotiate it, figure it out. I feel like the school board needs to help fund us as well because we do all of their meetings. And we've helped them with a lot of equipment over the years for the CHS Today program. One of the things I would like to point out, before I wrap this up though, when the city did the ARP funds a while back, and I don't know if some of you realize we did that with equipment, we were able, TV3 was able to put in request for equipment, and I have some that we can use over here. So what I'd like to do once we figure all the funding out and everything is I'd like to update this equipment because that stuff is 10, 15 years old and it's not supported anymore. I mentioned that during that other meeting. So it's difficult to continue to live stream, which we're doing right now. But like I said, the software is no longer supported in that equipment. They don't manufacture it anymore, and so. But we do have a way to update that, is what I'm saying. It won't be at any cost to you. It would take probably about 12 grand worth of equipment, which we do have. So through those ARP funds, so we can take care of that for you. So, any questions?
So on that, because like the school, the townships, the libraries that we had talked about earlier, have you met with any of them to find out how much they're willing to put in toward the?
No, I haven't asked any of them specific amounts of money on that.
Okay.
The library did ask, but I didn't have an actual number yet because I feel like we all ought to be in the same room at the same time to try and figure this out.
Right. So do we need to set a meeting like that up? With
That would
all
probably
of
be
these
wise.
entities?
I mean, that way everybody can see what the issues are and figure out what the cost should be. Because I don't think any one entity should bear all the cost of that.
Exactly. And even your small townships are going to have to do this also, right?
They are. I've had some that say that they don't want to participate. They just as soon do it themselves. And I don't think they read the law well. I encourage them to come to this meeting on Friday and hear me out because I will break the law down for them and explain it. But I think most of them would appreciate the help.
Right.
And again, they don't really meet that often. I don't 100% understand how the townships function, but most of them meet twice to 4 times a year. So averaging that out statistically, it shouldn't be a huge amount of money for them.
So if all the different entities get together and they can calculate, it wouldn't be
I've
such a
run
burden on-
many different calculations on breakdown like that. So.
75,000.
I'm sorry?
40,000
I
in.
couldn't.
You're looking at a budget of $213,000. If you had 140,000 in, are you looking for these entities to come up with $75,000?
Give or take, yes.
Okay.
And
So
that
we're
will
looking at
continue to grow.
$75,000 among entities that could put something in to help you out.
Right.
Okay. I was like to get down to brass tacks and see what we're looking
Yeah.
at. Okay.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm concerned with is we're supported by the cable franchise fees, but those are declining. So every year, that number is going to grow some.
Do you have the percentage of how much it's declined, like over the last 5 years?
I see it, yes. I haven't calculated the percentage per se, but I'm looking at
Do you
a
have the
decrease of
revenue?
20,000 per year is the
20,000
average.
per
And
year.
it seems to be slightly increasing. I was hoping we'd see a level off as people, would
Right.
start to adjust to it, but I think what we're seeing as an industry is like Metronet, for instance, is moving to simple ISP and not a cable provider anymore. So they're not even offering cable any longer, I don't believe.
I thought I heard a number the other day from WCTV in Richmond.
Mhm.
That said that they were, they're experiencing the same kinds of
They are,
things. And,
yes.
I think he said it was down 25,000, and I think he said 2 years, but maybe it was just a year.
Could be. Their funding is a little bit different over there because they operate off the
IUBs.
college as a 501.
Yeah.
So they're different.
Right.
But
Have you come out with a figure like per meeting cost?
I can. It's a tough, I mean, like I said, I've done several different scenarios on that.
I'm thinking that pay per your meeting would be the only fair way to do it.
I'm sorry?
I was just thinking the only fair way to do it would be pay per meeting.
Yeah, we'd have to calculate what that would be. But there's several ways to calculate that. We could take the whole amount of the budget and try to divide it up that way, or we could look at the cable fees that are coming in, the shortfall, and divide it up that way. Whatever's fair, really, and I think it needs to be fair across the board. So it could be anywhere from, I don't know, $200 to $500 per, I'm guessing. So, I mean, it's the calculation on how we figure it out. And again, that really ought to be a meeting with everybody in the room.
Have you had any commitments yet, or anybody that said, we'll put up 10,000, 15,000?
No, I haven't. No, that's why I said we need to actually have a meeting with that so that they all know where we're at and can participate.
So the meeting on Friday evening, this is just a training, this is just telling people what you're telling us.
Well, no, the meeting on Friday is to explain the law and to explain to the boards that are participating in that, particularly townships, how the law works and what they need to do to prepare for it, and the formatting really is what we're going to get into. How to prepare agendas and minutes. Many of them have not done this. So
Right.
I was kind of surprised that they apparently didn't realize they had to. So, but that's easy to do. So, but it's just take a little time to explain it all out.
Right, right. Okay.
Jane, the townships, do they have a budget, or they depend upon us for their income?
They have their own budgets.
They have their own
They're
budgets.
separate entities.
Okay. Okay.
Any other questions? Any questions
We
about
don't
the
know what
law?
those budgets are, do we, or do they turn them into you?
No, you can get on Gateway and look,
Okay.
but yeah, they don't.
I can tell you this is very interesting about the law is that we've been doing this for 25 years here, which puts us well ahead of everybody else. Wayne County's in a bit of a panic right now trying to figure it out. So they have WCTV over there, which helps them, but they still don't know how to handle everything they have to do because their county's quite large.
Yeah,
So,
they have a lot more money too.
yes, but not enough, as everybody has problems. So, but yeah, that'll help.
Especially for the unexpected.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that for the most part, they haven't really started looking at the law. I know that AIM, the municipality organization, just now there's conversations about it. People are like, what are we gonna do? So, yes,
What, on Friday, what time is the meeting and how was it established on Friday? Just there's a lot of conflict, I know, for meetings and organizations.
that's when I was available and the room was available. I established it several weeks ago, but 4:30 on Friday, City Hall. If people cannot make it, I still encourage them to get a hold of me. I'll talk to them on the phone. They can come into my office. I'll be happy to talk about it anytime.
Is the meeting going to be televised?
Sure, why not? That's a good idea, actually. That way people can watch it later. So that's good.
You can offer Zoom.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. People need to get a hold of me in advance, so call the TV3 studio, 825-3245. If you want to zoom into that meeting, I can arrange for that.
Might get more people come that way.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Good idea. Okay, any other questions?
Does the city receive franchise fees other than what we give to the city? I mean, like, do you get anything directly from these companies, or it all comes to us and then funnels?
Well,
to us?
it's the city has their portion, of course. It's all works out the same way. It comes from the cable companies themselves that distribute the franchise fees out.
Okay, so I mean, you guys get some, and then we get some that we didn't give to you, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got a breakdown on that if you wanted to see it, actually. Actual breakdown year by year. So
Okay.
it's just
Yeah,
lots of tiny data, sorry.
Yeah, that's
But yeah, the county gets a small portion that is handed over on that too. So that I believe also needs to be calculated in. So as part of the budget,
Yeah.
as part of that, so. But yeah, I've got all of those numbers. I track income back to 2007.
That's good.
So I like statistics.
Are there any more questions for John?
Just glad we have you.
Thanks. All right, thank you for your time.
All righty, thank you. All right,
I have one more question, Sharon.
okay.
Dale, your 144s, were those replacing, your 144s, were those new people or replacing someone who left?
We authorized one for a new employee. We had some employees who were trading jobs between probation and community corrections, moving from one department to the other, acquiring 144. That's basically it.
Okay. If there's nothing else, we will go ahead and adjourn our county council meeting tonight. I need a motion. So moved.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.